Welcome to AI ConvoCast, where we bring you the latest in AI and tech innovation. Please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Let's jump right in.
Today, we will be covering Meta's business AI exploding to 10 million weekly conversations, Microsoft and Accenture pulling off one of the largest Copilot rollouts ever, OpenAI launching advanced account security for ChatGPT and Codex, and Anthropic pushing Claude deep into professional creative software like Adobe, Blender, and Ableton. Starting with Meta. The company says its business AI tools are now handling roughly 10 million conversations every week, up from just 1 million at the start of 2026. That is a 10-fold jump in about 4 months. The figure came out of Meta's first quarter earnings call on April 29th, with TechCrunch reporting it the next morning. CFO Susan Lee said Meta has expanded business AIs on WhatsApp to small and medium businesses across Latin America and Indonesia, plus Messenger in Asia-Pacific, and the beta is now live across the US, EMEA, APAC, and LATAM. The strategy is starting to come into focus. Mark Zuckerberg described the effort as building, quote, a business agent focused on helping entrepreneurs and businesses across the world. So this is not really a chatbot story, it is an agent distribution story. Meta is using messaging apps people already open dozens of times a day as the delivery layer for customer service, sales, and lead handling. Meta also said more than 8 million advertisers now use at least one of its generative AI creative tools, and video generation drove more than 3% higher conversion rates in tests. The takeaway is that Meta is quietly turning messaging into a default agent surface for small businesses, which is a very different shape than the productivity suite approach Microsoft and Google are taking. On that note, Microsoft just landed what it is calling the largest enterprise Copilot deployment to date. Accenture is rolling out Microsoft 365 Copilot to roughly 743,000 employees, which Microsoft pointed out is about the population of Denver. Microsoft published the feature on April 27th, and Reuters followed up the next day with the business context, which is where this gets interesting. Reuters reported that only a little more than 3% of Microsoft's 450 million-plus Microsoft 365 enterprise users currently pay for the $30 a month Copilot offering. So, Accenture is essentially Microsoft's flagship answer to the persistent question of whether Copilot adoption is actually sticking. The numbers Microsoft shared from Accenture's internal data are striking. Out of 200,000 users surveyed in 2025, 97% reported completing routine tasks up to 15 times faster, and 53% reported significant productivity gains. Accenture's CIO Tony Lareris called Copilot, quote, a personal digital colleague, and CEO Julie Sweet told Reuters, quote, our teams are already doing higher value work because of it. The rollout was not overnight, though. Accenture started with a few hundred leaders back in August 2023, scaled to 20,000 users, then expanded from there. That gradual ramp matters because it pushes back on the idea that you can drop AI tools on a workforce and expect immediate transformation. It took Accenture more than 2 years to reach this scale. Moving to OpenAI, which launched advanced account security on April 30th, this is an opt-in setting for ChatGPT accounts that also protects Codex access through the same login. If you turn it on, password login gets disabled entirely. You have to use phishing-resistant methods like passkeys or physical security keys, such as a YubiKey. Email and SMS recovery are turned off, sessions are shortened, and your conversations are automatically excluded from model training. OpenAI is also partnering with YubiKey on preferred pricing for a YubiKey bundle. OpenAI's reasoning is straightforward. Quote, over time, a ChatGPT account can hold sensitive personal and professional context. Think about what is actually inside a heavy user's account now. Source code through Codex, connected business tools, internal documents, customer information, workflow history. If someone takes over that account, they are not just getting a chatbot, they are getting an operational control point. There is a real trade-off, though. OpenAI is warning that support will not be able to recover enrolled accounts if you lose your keys. And starting June 1st, members of OpenAI's Trusted Access for Cyber program using its most capable cyber models will be required to enable this, unless their organization uses phishing-resistant single sign-on. So this is moving from an option to a requirement for the highest-risk users. Closing out with Anthropic, which on April 28th launched Claude for creative work. This is a set of connectors that lets Claude operate inside professional creative software, including Adobe Creative Cloud, Autodesk Fusion, Ableton, Blender, Affinity by Canva, SketchUp, Splice, and Resolume. The Adobe connector reaches into more than 50 Creative Cloud tools, Photoshop, Premiere, and Express among them. Autodesk Fusion lets designers modify 3D models just by talking to Claude. The Blender integration is the most technically ambitious, giving Claude natural language access to Blender's Python API so it can analyze scenes, write scripts, debug, and batch apply changes across complex projects. The strategic move here is worth pausing on. Anthropic is not trying to compete head-on with Adobe Firefly or standalone image generators. Instead, Claude is being positioned as an orchestration layer that lives inside the tools professionals already use. Anthropic put it this way, quote, "Claude can't replace taste or imagination, but it can open up new ways of working." Creative Block characterized the artist reaction as mixed, but notably more measured than earlier AI art controversies, likely because this is automation inside existing pro workflows rather than another asset generator. Anthropic also joined the Blender Development Fund as a patron, and because the Blender connector is built on MCP, the Model Context Protocol, other large language models can plug into it too. That is an unusually open stance for a frontier lab, and signals Anthropic is leaning into shared standards rather than locked ecosystems.
Thank you for listening to AI Convo Cast. Please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Thanks and hope to see you again next time.